know what works. I mean, the National Reading Panel came out in 2000, so it's over a decade.
Mm-hmm.
I still feel like we struggle a little bit with schools and districts who have embraced, whether you call it balanced literacy or whole language or practices that are not evidence-based. How can we, whether as publishers, as researchers, as practitioners, I know you're talking about these conversations that we need to have with the home team, but how can we make that bridge a little bit easier? You said we need bridge builders. How do we do that in the schools with folks who have been for decades, using strategies that are not the most evidence-based or effective?
Mm-hmm. So let me just put it like this. We really have to think about the levers of change. And there are technical things, and then there are adaptive things. So I would say to any school board, especially the president of the school board, you have to have literacy goals in the superintendent's work plan and evaluation. That you just have to. If you don't have literacy goals in your evaluation, then you're going to get what you get. People focus on what you have them to focus on. We often talk about teachers and how we evaluate. No. The board only has one employee, it's the superintendent, traditionally.
Mm-hmm.
But you have to put literacy goals in there so that they focus on that. And then you have to manage them appropriately. And it's their job to organize staff, to request whatever they need to request, to figure it out. From a board perspective, if you don't have literacy goals for your superintendent's evaluation, you're just playing games. You may not realize that everyone has the best of intentions, but you're hoping that it works out. Hope is really not a strategy.
Right.
So that's the first thing I would do. And it's really not very common, but it's also very, very simple. And it's reasonable. And you have to hire with that expectation that they have to know coming in, hey, look, this is what we consider success. This is part of the metrics of success. And retention depends on this, and, renewal, whatever. Like, this is something that we care about. So we want to put it in there and provide you with whatever you need. In fact, to get this job, we'd love to hear how you plan on addressing literacy.
Mm-hmm.
As a board, that's your leverage, right? Other things that we can do to impact systems. So curriculum matters. It really does. There are curricular choices that are made that really speak volumes about knowledge, expectations, and approach. I don't want to hear equity slogans. I don't want to hear mission statements. All wonderful. That's all wonderful. I always tell people, show me your budget, and your calendar, and your curriculum, and I will know what your values are. I don't, you can save the yard sign and the equity statement. Where's the money going? What curriculum are you using? And what's the schedule look like? That's what.
Show me the research that the curriculum works, right?
Well, yeah, right. I'm saying, show me the curriculum. Is it evidence-based? Right? What's the evidence that it works? Most school systems, when they select curriculum, they don't read whatever reports are there. If they exist at all, they don't read that stuff. They don't have time to. In fact, there's another podcast, I won't mention the name, there's another podcast where they look at districts that are really doing well with literacy. Mm-hmm. And they talk about the choices that they make. Curriculum absolutely matters. The other thing that matters is the alignment of structures. So I'll give you an example. There are some curriculum that take, for full implementation, you're talking about 2 to 3 hours a day. Others take 15 minutes a day. Very few, but there's a couple. Now, 2 things. One, who do you think has the better result? And they're both, all these are aligned to the science and the research consensus. Yes, they are. Right? There's a class of high quality curricula that are. Who do you think is going to get better results? It's the teachers who actually have the time to prepare for this stuff consistently every day. So they can actually do the thing as it's written and intended and make adjustments as they need to, because they can plan. They can use a scalpel instead of a chainsaw, right? So that's the first thing. The second thing is, in addition to the curriculum being high quality, you have to have systems that are aligned to it. So how much prep time do I have as a teacher to do those things? Do I have a designated literacy prep? Chicago has 300 minutes a week to prepare, whereas Oakland has 100. fundamentally, they should be looking at different things.
Right.
Even if the curriculum is wonderful, if you've got 100 and they've got 300, even though the 300 object is really shiny and nice and beautiful and popular, maybe you might want to do something or purchase something that's aligned to your system.
Right.
And realize that you have the leverage as a school district to say, listen, I would love to purchase this, but you need to come back with a newer version that's more streamlined. So those are some things that we can demand be aligned so that folks have a fighting chance to actually serve kids in a comprehensive way so that they can learn to read.
Absolutely. That idea of the professional learning for the teachers, the curriculum tools, but also those systems and structures to make sure that they have the support. There's the buy-in from the leadership and the teachers.
Well, hold on, Liz. There's all that, but you just said something. So you said the professional development for the teachers. Now, that's a whole nother bucket. Because of the crisis in higher ed, where most teachers say, you know what, I should have gotten a rebate because I didn't learn anything about the science of reading. I don't know anything about dyslexia, and I went through my program. Because of that, the in-service professional development the districts provide are so important. Mm-hmm. We just got this influx of money from the federal government from the COVID
ESSER funds, yeah.
Yeah, ESSER funds, right? And so how was that money spent? How much professional development? Are you putting everybody through letters training? Are you using Orton Gillingham? Whatever the thing is, right? Are you providing your teachers opportunities to learn and very important, paying them for their time? They should have to pay for their registration. They should be given a stipend for the time as a matter of course, right? That just has to be where you start. Find the best providers. Find the folks who are good at it. They've got the best reviews from those who've gone through the programs, and understand there's different levels. So there's some educators who are, empty nesters, and maybe their kids are gone now, and they're at the season of life where they can learn anything, do anything. Right? Great. Wonderful. They might be ready for a graduate level class type program. Then there's some out there. Then there's some folks who they're going through some issues in life. Their kids are still in the home and it's tough. It's tough. Right? The time is limited.
Right.
Time is limited. And they're hanging on for dear life. Or they may be in the middle and they may do something that's a little bit more modest. And then there's those folks who they may not even believe in the science of reading. They're just curious, but they want to at least dip their toe in the water. They're not ready for a graduate level class. They're not ready for even something a little bit modest, but they can give you a few hours on the weekend. If they don't have to pay for it and they get a stipend, they're open to that. And that's all you're going to get for now.
Right.
Systems have to have opportunities for professional development for teachers at all those areas, and they have to be aligned. They have to be aligned to the science of reading. You don't want one teaching one thing and someone else teaching something. But if they're aligned, you have to have on-ramps that folks can access so that they can get to the goal, which is to be more professionally prepared to serve our kids.
Right. Differentiation is not just for students, it's for teachers as well, like you said.
That's right.